Imagine this for a moment. Your child breaks a rule. Maybe they talk back. Maybe they spill something after you've warned them twice. Your hand moves before your brain does. The room goes quiet. And for a second, it feels like it worked. But here's the question no one asks in that moment. What did your child actually learn? Not today, but 10 years from now. Think about that for a moment. Let's be honest. Most parents who spank aren't bad parents. They're tired parents, overwhelmed parents, parents doing what they were taught. For generations, spanking has been seen as normal, even loving. Many of us grew up hearing, "This hurts me more than it hurts you," or "I turned out fine." So if you've ever spanked your child, or thought about it, this isn't about shame. This is about understanding what's really happening beneath the surface. In this video, we're going to slow things down and look at the full picture. Why some parents believe spanking works, what decades of research actually say about its impact on children, and most importantly, what discipline methods do work without damaging trust or emotional health. No judgment, just truth, science, and practical tools you can actually use. Let's start by being fair. Many parents spank because, in the moment, it seems effective. The child stops the behavior immediately. There's silence. Compliance. Order is restored. For a stressed parent, that feels like discipline doing its job. Others point to culture or tradition. My parents spank me, and I respect them. In many households around the world, physical punishment has been framed as necessary, especially when raising strong, obedient children. Some parents believe spanking teaches consequences in a way words can't. Then there's the argument of safety. A child runs into the street, touches something dangerous. Some parents feel a physical response sends a strong message. Don't ever do that again. And finally, there's the personal story. It worked for me. I'm successful. I'm not broken. These beliefs don't come from cruelty. They come from experience, fear, and love mixed together. But here's the deeper question we rarely stop to ask. If spanking works so well, why do so many adults still carry fear, anger, or emotional distance from their childhood? When a child is spanked, their brain doesn't interpret it as discipline. It interprets it as threat. In that moment, the nervous system shifts into survival mode. Heart rate increases. Stress hormones flood the body. The lesson isn't, "I made a mistake." The lesson becomes, "I'm not safe." Over time, this shapes emotional health. Children who are frequently spanked show higher levels of anxiety and depression. They become hyper-aware of adult moods. They may appear obedient, but internally, they're learning to avoid, not understand. Think about that for a moment. Obedience driven by fear is not the same as self-control. Behaviorally, spanking teaches something else too. It teaches that hitting is an acceptable way to solve problems. When adults use physical force to correct behavior, children absorb that message. That's why research consistently shows higher aggression in children who are spanked. Not because they're bad kids, but because they're modeling what they've experienced. And then there's the relational cost. Trust quietly erodes. A child who fears punishment learns not to tell the truth, but to hide mistakes. Instead of running to their parent, they learn to run away. Communication shuts down. The parent-child bond, which should be the safest relationship in a child's life, becomes unpredictable. Imagine a child who spills a glass of milk. One response teaches responsibility. The other teaches fear. Both stop the behavior. Only one builds confidence. This isn't just opinion. The American Academy of Pediatrics has clearly stated that corporal punishment increases aggression, damages parent-child relationships, and is ineffective long-term. Dr. Elizabeth Gershoff, one of the most cited researchers on this topic, analyzed over 5 decades of studies involving hundreds of thousands of children. Her findings were consistent. Spanking does not improve behavior in the long run, and it increases mental health risks. One major study found that children who were spanked were more likely to develop behavioral problems, lower self-esteem, and difficulty regulating emotions. Even when spanking was mild, even when parents believed it was controlled, the negative outcomes remained. The science is clear. Fear changes the developing brain, and not in ways that help children thrive. Today, more than 60 countries have banned corporal punishment entirely, including places like Sweden, Germany, and New Zealand. These bans aren't about criminalizing parents. They're about recognizing children as human beings with emotional rights. Societies that moved away from spanking didn't see chaos. They saw lower violence, stronger family bonds, and healthier emotional development. This isn't a trend. It's an evolution in understanding childhood. So what actually works? Real discipline is about teaching, not controlling. It starts with connection. When a child feels emotionally safe, they're more open to guidance. Timeouts, when used correctly, aren't about isolation. They're about calming the nervous system. A short break, followed by a conversation, helps children reflect instead of react. Logical consequences are powerful. If a child throws a toy, the toy is removed. Not as punishment, but as cause and effect. Positive reinforcement builds motivation far better than fear ever could. When children are noticed for good behavior, they repeat it. Consistency matters more than intensity. Calm firmness beats anger every time. Modeling emotional regulation teaches children how to manage frustration themselves. When a parent pauses, breathes, and speaks calmly, the child's brain mirrors that behavior. Most importantly, discipline should preserve the relationship. After correction, there should be reconnection, a hug, eye contact, reassurance. I love you. Your behavior wasn't okay, but you are. That sentence alone changes everything. At the end of the day, every parent wants the same thing. A child who grows into a confident, respectful, emotionally strong adult. Spanking may stop behavior in the moment, but it teaches lessons that last far longer than the pain itself. Think about the legacy you want to leave. Not just obedience, but trust. If this video made you think, share your thoughts in the comments. Have you experienced this as a parent or as a child? If you found value here, like the video, share it with another parent, and subscribe for more honest conversations about raising healthy, resilient kids. Your child is watching, even when you don't realize it.